I open the PEDDaL record generator program. You can see there are two buttons. One is for generating record, and another is for validating the file against a record. We will be using this Validate File Against Record button to show that the D1 document information has been previously registered in the PEDDaL database. Previously, I had run this Generate Record part of the program against the document. However, that process will be described in a later video. Now, because we are trying the special version of this program, which is to register paper documents, we need to go to this File menu, look for Advanced, Text Document Special Processing. We select d1.txt, which we have just created. We can save it as d1_special.txt. If we open this file, we see that it has the content of d1.txt, but it does not have character returns or spaces. The reason for this is because the OCR process can make mistakes on character returns and spaces. So the special text processing eliminates characters except for those that actually appear printed on the paper copy. Now that we have this file, we can attempt validating against the PEDDaL edition. We click on Validate File Against Record, and we now have a copy of the PEDDaL record. This first portion is the SHA-1 message digest. This is the SHA-1 hash of d1_special.txt. You can find this SHA-1 string in the PEDDaL record. It is characters 129 through 168. The first 128 characters of the PEDDaL record are the SHA-512 message digest hash characters. The reason the PEDDaL record generator uses two different hash functions is in the event that one of them is cracked, the other one provides backup security. Now that we have this record, we can go to the DDL edition. The DDL edition is a series of PEDDaL records. Each PEDDaL record is 256 characters. The characters are the SHA-512 as the first 128 characters, the SHA-1 as the next 40 characters. Then what happens is we have a software version annotated and some timestamping information, and it completes with an indication of a PEDDaL record number within the database edition. So we open this database edition and we see a series of numbers. Somewhere within this list we should hope to find some that match the record that we just generated. And we can find it here. 9BFD92. I'm not going to read all of these, but you can see that these letters are the same as this. What this means is that the content of d1special.txt has previously been hashed, so it must have existed with every last character identical to the condition it is in now. This hash was placed in DDL 100109A. So now we have established that necessarily this D1 PDF file existed before this DDL file. What remains to show is that this DDL file existed prior to the publication of the USA Today. Let me go back and make a correction. I had earlier said that d1.pdf existed before 100109a.ddl. That's not correct. d1.pdf only represents content that existed. It may have been in a different file. But now what we need to show is that the file 100109a.ddl existed before the USA Today was published on February 3rd, 2010. To do that, we now return to the PEDDaL record generator a second time, and we click Validate File against Record. This time, what we select is the database edition itself. We have here the SHA-1 message digest, and then the first 168 characters out of the 256 characters that make a PEDDaL record. These numbers are 4, 9, F, 2, 3, 5, and several more. What I can do now is go to the USA Today, and you can see that I have scanned in a copy of page 9D from the February 3rd. Now I had to fold this in order to fit it on the same aspect ratio as a normal page. However, you can create your own PDF file of this, or you can download it. You can get this information from your favorite source, one that you trust. In the marketplace today, which is the USA Today classified section, we see under the word notices and announcements this series of characters. The series of characters is the portion of the PEDDaL record that was published in the USA Today. If I bring this record generator over closer, you can see that in fact these numbers are the same. Let me zoom in so it's easier for you to see. The same numbers: 49F23568, F5 FDD in a series. It ends with the same set: 92153A. These numbers are here: 92153A. The last set of numbers appearing in the USA Today is a software edition version. On the next line is a DDL version. What this means is that you can go to the PEDDaL.com website, grab a file that is titled 100109A.ddl. You can hash it using even your own preferred hash functions. The first 128 characters that appear in this classified ad will be the same as you will get from a SHA-512 hash. The next 129 through 168 will be the same characters as you would get with a SHA-1 hash. I will scroll down further so that you can see. I have another copy of this article, this classified ad, in which the SHA-512 portion is circled in blue and everything else is crossed out in red. And yet another one in which the SHA-1 hash is circled in blue and everything else is crossed out. What this establishes then is that the content of D1 existed before this DDL file was created. This DDL file existed before February 3rd, 2010. Therefore, the content of this D1 file existed no later than February 3rd, 2010. There are three possibilities here. One is the assertion I just made is correct. Another is that I have forged every single copy of the USA Today, page 9D, that is available in any library that anybody might go to. That's highly unlikely. The third possibility is that somehow I have managed to crack the SHA-1 and the SHA-512 simultaneously so that I can create an arbitrary file that, upon being hashed, hits the specific numbers that happen to have been printed in the USA Today on that date. This last possibility is computationally infeasible. There is no known crack to the SHA-512 or the SHA-1 in which somebody can create a file to necessarily produce a desired hash value. In order to say that D1, the contents of D1 did not exist prior to February 3rd, you would have to say that I am capable of creating a file that simultaneously attains the hash of a SHA-512 and the hash of a SHA-1. This is beyond computationally difficult. As a final note on this hash function accuracy, I'm going to show you the consequences of even a single period being off. Now, as I showed you that we just created this D1 special.txt and we can hash it. However, I previously, in anticipation of this demonstration, created the same type of file for the other paper document, which differed only by a missing period. This one is D2 special_special.txt. You can look and you can see very clearly that these different documents, having no difference whatsoever except for a single period, return drastically different hash values. What this means is that it wasn't a close relative of the contents of D1 that existed by February 3rd. Instead, it was the exact contents of D1. Now, this process can be repeated by you at your leisure. It is also described in these patent applications. Thank you for your time.